Yeah. One thing why you don't want that, okay, is because let's say you use 12 different websites. If one website gets compromised, they will go to every other website using that password. Like Target, just for example, Target lost something like 50 million passwords. What is that hacker going to do? He says, oh, you know, that's the password. Let me go to let me go to every bank and try that. And they'll probably get to one of your other accounts. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to share a real case with you. Okay, so I was in the middle of chatting with a friend on Skype. I was chatting, we were talking about Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies and everything. And I was also talking to, I was texting the friend, but I was video Skyping with my wife. And all of a sudden the Skype just went off. It just logged out. Now, because I'm into cryptocurrencies, anything that moves slightly, it always, makes me suspicious. That's why every time the thing moves, you guys see me looking at the cameraman, because if he's doing it, I want to know. And he lets me know that was me that did that, right? But if something's moving or it glitches a little bit while we're doing the presentation, right? I'm always concerned somebody is trying to hack into our system. It's always a constant concern. So because of that, the minute something moves or it doesn't, me and Leon immediately, hey, did you do that or did I do that? And then we try to narrow it down to what just happened right away. So what happens is, what you're saying there, right? I was chatting with my wife on Skype, and I was texting a friend, and all of a sudden I got logged out, and I was like, that shouldn't have happened. I tried to log back in right away, and it said that, I can't log in, and then I tried to log in a third time, right? And I couldn't log into my own Skype account, and right away I knew I'd been hacked. Right away, because that should not happen. Because I use a password manager, I use a password manager and everything. That should not happen, right? So right away, I try to reset my password. I know that I'm being hacked, so I'm trying to reset my password before the hacker does, right? So I'm trying to reset it, and boom, I kick him off before he's able to reset my Skype account. So I beat him to it, right? And I come back on, and my friend goes, did you receive those Bitcoins? What do you think just happened during all that time? Yeah, that's called a social engineering hack. Okay? That's called a social. The minute that I saw that pop up that said, did you receive those Bitcoins, I knew right away he'd been hacked. The time that my Skype was down, it's called a man-in-the-middle attack. Okay? So I'm chatting with Leon, and somebody hacks us and gets in the middle and pretends that he's me. And he tells Leon, hey, send me a couple of Bitcoins. I need it real quick to do this. And he thinks he's talking to me, but who's he really talking to? The hacker. So that's called a man-in-the-middle attack.
Yeah, so guys, you got to realize that the way to attack someone, to hack somebody if you're targeting them, is sometimes not to hack them directly, is to hack one of their friends and then impersonate someone they trust, someone you trust, to make them think that you're speaking to somebody you trust, right? Yeah. So in this case, your friend got hacked. They didn't go hack your friend. They went to hack you and then impersonate you to your friend to get him to do something. Yeah. Do you guys understand that? That's one of the biggest risks is in computers is you got to make sure you are actually speaking to the people you think you're speaking to.
So if you send a transaction to someone, make sure that you call them on the phone, you recognize their voice, or if there's a large quantity, you do it in person, right? Some of you guys, when you guys registered for the boot camp, you guys called me and we did it over the phone to make sure that it was correct, right?
And this has happened to many people I know. Like, let's say your bank is Wells Fargo. Well, somebody will try to impersonate Wells Fargo and say, hey, I'm Wells Fargo. What's your password? I need you because of whatever reason. They'll make up, right? Yeah. And then you'll fall for it because it looks exactly like it's from Wells Fargo. What do you think they did? They copied the graphics and everything from Wells Fargo or whatever bank or Bank of America or Chase, right? Yeah. And they make you think that there's somebody they're not. And then you hand over your passwords and everything, and then boom, they got your money.
Yeah, so the thing that saved my friend is when I saw him say that, did you receive those Bitcoins, I instantly knew that he got hacked, okay? And the thing that saved him from losing a ton of Bitcoins, you know, or a bunch of Bitcoins, was that I always told him that every time you send a transaction, a big transaction, you always send a small transaction first, and you call the person up and confirm it.
Yeah.
So if I want to send Otto $1,000, I'll send him $3 first. And then I'll call him up. Otto, did you receive the $3? Was that the correct account? And then after he confirms with me on the phone that that's correct, right, or confirms with me on Skype, I can see him on Skype, then I'll send him the balance,
Yeah.
right? But you always, you know, if you're concerned about, always send a small test transaction first. Now, the reason why I'm sharing that story with how, you know, my friend and I got hacked, right, is to show you, Hubert, right, you don't want to use, the reason why I got hacked was not because of my Skype. It was 5, 6, 7 years ago, LinkedIn got hacked. And the password that I used on LinkedIn was floating. The hackers stole all those passwords, those thousands of passwords from LinkedIn, and they were selling it online on the internet. And the hacker got a hold of that list, right? And they hacked me into my Skype account because they figured, well, let's try and see if it still worked. And at that time, I forgot that I used the same password on those accounts. But nowadays, I use, you know, like a password manager to generate all the passwords for my accounts. So, you know, I don't expect that to happen, right? But that's what we do. So does that answer your question? You don't want to use the same password.